Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the concept of excess capacity and the reserve capacity in case of average cost. Okay, in case of average cost curves, right? Now both the two concepts are actually related with two particular theories of cost. Okay, usually the theory of cost we study, it is called the conventional theory. Okay, it is the conventional one, right? Now in the conventional cost theory, okay, in the conventional cost theory, the average cost curve looks like this, right? This curve looks like this, a U-shaped curve, right? Now if I say this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis, right? The x-axis representing the output, okay, denoted by x, and the y-axis denoting our cost, okay, right? Now this is basically representing the average cost, okay, or the per unit cost, right? Now see here, in this case, the optimal plant size is achieved at the lowest minimum point of the average cost curve. Okay, so let's say this is the short run. Okay, this is the short run average cost curve of a firm, right? It representing a particular plant size. Okay, now in this case, the optimal plant size is achieved at the lowest minimum point of this SAC curve. Okay, let me denote this point as point A. Here, see, towards the left of point A, towards this left part, you could see the average cost curve was falling. Okay, the average short run average cost curve was falling. This is because the plant was not optimally utilized, and therefore further and further utilization could lead to further and further fall in short run average cost, right? So average short run average cost was falling. Now towards the right of this curve, okay, towards the right of point A, right, towards the right of point A, what happens? We utilize the our prevailing factors of production at a higher level than its optimal level. Okay, this is the optimal size of the plant. Okay, beyond this we are using our machinery at an at a high capacity. Okay, beyond the optimum point, right? We are utilizing its overtime. We are forcing our managers or workers to work for overtime, which lead to inefficiencies, and therefore the cost increases. Okay, the short run average cost increases. That's why we find this kind of shape, right? Now let's take a point towards the left of point A. Okay, so let's say this is the point, right? Now at this point the cost was say this much and the output produced was this much. Okay, let me denote the output produced as x1 and the cost as c1. Clear? Output x1 and cost as c1, and at the optimal point it could produce effectively x2 amount of output with a average cost of say c2, right? Yes. Now what excess capacity of a firm tell us, okay, what the excess capacity of a firm tell us, it is basically the difference between the optimal plant size and the current working plant size. Okay, so therefore if I say this is point B, okay, in that case if I find the difference between point A and B, right, that is this much of this short run average cost curve. Okay, right, this much represents the excess capacity of the firm. Okay, this much represents the excess capacity of the firm. That means if the firm is operating at point B, okay, let us suppose that the firm is operating at point B, therefore it has this much of excess capacity available to it. Okay, it has this much of excess capacity available to it, or it has BA amount of excess capacity or unutilized capacity, right? It has this much amounts of unutilized or excess capacity at its disposal, right? It can increase its output towards the point A, right? So this difference, okay, this difference between the optimal plant size and the prevailing or the working plant size, right, this difference is basically denote the excess capacity of the firm, right? This is the excess capacity of the firm in the short run. Clear? Okay, now suppose the firm was producing it here. Okay, it was producing here, then suddenly what happens? The demand for the product increases, right? So it can effectively increase the output of the product beyond this area, that is the area between B and A. It can increase its output, right? And how much it could increase the output? It could effectively increase the output to point A, right? It could successfully increase the output to point A. That is, this is its excess capacity that is available at its disposal, right? Clear? Okay, now this is the concept of excess capacity, which was related with the conventional theory of cost. Now there is a modern theory of cost we have to understand. Okay, now this, according to the modern theory of cost, what it says the firm uses the actually a reserve capacity. Okay, it talks about something called a reserve capacity of the firm. Yeah, now because of this reserve capacity, the the shape of the average cost curve or the short run average cost curve in case of modern theory of cost, it is not a completely U-shaped curve. Okay, let me show you how the curve looks like. So this is our y-axis, this is our x-axis. In the x-axis we are taking the output x, and the y-axis we are taking the average cost, right? So here the curve would look like something like this. It would fall up to a range. Okay, it would fall up to a range, then it becomes a straight line. Okay, and then it's again starts increasing. Okay, this is not a very good curve, so let me draw it again. Okay, I will try to draw it once again. So basically, in the conventional theory, the curve was a completely a U-shaped curve, right? Here, the curve is not a U-shaped curve. First, it falls down to a certain level, okay, certain range. Then it becomes a straight line up to a particular point, and then again it starts increasing. Okay, so it looks like something like this. Okay, it looks like something like this. Now between these two points, say this is A and this is B. Okay, this range over here, okay, this range over here, it is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, it is parallel to the x-axis, or it is completely a straight line, right? Now this area over here, A and B, it represents what it represents. It represents the reserve capacity I am talking about, right? It represents the reserve capacity of the firm, right? Now what is reserve capacity? See what happens. Sometimes in short run suddenly demand increases. Okay, sometimes in the market suddenly demand increases. Okay, what was the conventional theory curve? The conventional theory cost curve was like this. Okay, let us suppose the firm was optimally utilizing a plant at this point. Okay, at the optimal size of the plant. Okay, now if suddenly demand increases, right, if suddenly demand increases, the firm couldn't increase its output beyond this point. Okay, it could not increase the output beyond this point because this is not efficient for the firm. Okay, it increases the average cost of the firm. So no firm would like to increase its average cost. Okay, they would not like to increase the average cost. It will lead to fall in their profit, right? It will lead to fall in their profit or loss. So therefore this is not possible in case of the conventional theory of cost, right? So what the firms do? The firms used to keep inventories, right? The firms used to keep inventories or stocks of the product. Okay, it used to keep the previous produced stocks of the product for future and future years. Okay, right? Now this particular stockpiling of inventory, this is very costly actually. Okay, you have to keep a proper stock of the products. Then you have to put it in a particular way. There are some products which may decay also. There are some perishable products, so you have to put it in proper cold storage facility, right? Or warehousing costs. So these are various costs associated with stockpiling of inventory, right? That is one problem. Then the second problem is that if you as a firm, if you could not respond to the increased demand of the demand in the market of your product, if you could not respond properly, then there would be some other firms. Okay, there would be some other firms in the market, and they would take the advantage, right? The other firms would obtain the increased demand of the product, right? So you would be a loser here in this case, right? So that was a very big problem in case of the conventional cost theory, right? Now this modern cost theory says that actually the firm has something called a reserve capacity. Okay, it is something called the reserve capacity, right? That is say the firm is producing at this point. Okay, the firm is producing at this point, say x1 amount, right? At the per unit cost of how much? The per unit cost is c1, right? Now suddenly let's say demand increase. Okay, let's say demand increase, and as a result now the firm have some flexibility. Okay, the firm has some flexibility in its production process or in its plant size, so that a sudden increase in demand, it can effectively meet that sudden increase in demand. Okay, it can fulfill. Okay, it can satisfy this, or it can supply the sudden increase in the demand for its product. Okay, it can supply now. How? Because it has something called reserve capacity, right? Now it will utilize this reserve capacity. Okay, therefore let's say it increases the production to this much. Okay, this much x2. Now see, because of the reserve capacity available, okay, because of the reserve capacity available, the cost, the average per unit cost remains same as C1. Okay, it is remain constant, right? So therefore there would be no loss for the producer, right? A sudden increase in demand in the short run, he could effectively, you know, fulfill or fulfill the criteria here, right? The increased demand, he could effectively supply the increased demand, right? And there will be no, you know, surge in his cost. Okay, there will be no increase in his average per unit cost, right? Now the question is, what is this reserve capacity? Okay, so when I say reserve capacity, it basically means there are some, see, what could be the forms of a reserve capacity? There could be many forms. First, let's say the firm keep some, you know, stock of particular machines. Okay, it could, you know, maintain some stocks of particular machines which are very difficult to get in the short term. Okay, it is very difficult to suddenly, you cannot buy those machines. Okay, it takes time, right? So what could the firm do? Firm could, you know, effectively it can stock some of certain machines in its, you know, inventory or with the firm. Okay, and when the demand suddenly rises in the short run, then it could use these machines and increase its production, right? That could be one thing. Okay, then what could be the second thing? The second thing is that the instant repair of machines. Okay, it could have some, you know, it could have some facility in its production house that it could instantly, you know, repair the, it could instantly repair the, you know, deteriorated machines. Okay, see, when you have to increase the production suddenly, okay, when you have to increase the production suddenly, then it is odd that the machines are going to work overtime. Okay, the machines are going to work overtime, or then the stipulated time frame that it could effectively use. So in that case, it is bound that the deterioration or the, you know, there may be depreciation in the machines. Okay, depreciation or normal wear and tear may took place, right? And in that case, if you have a reserve capacity of instant repair of your machines, right? If you can suddenly repair the machines instantly, in that case it gives you a free hand that you can help in increasing production. Okay, you can effectively increase production, because if the machine gets deteriorated or, you know, depreciated, then you can also instantly repair them. Okay, you can instantly repair them, and that's why there is no harm in increasing production. Okay, there is no harm in increasing production. then then there may be other ways of reserve capacity, that is capacity to work with more stuffs. Okay, capacity, your the firm's capacity to work with more shifts, right? Right, so let's say there are some, the firm may also employ some additional, say, casual labor. Okay, it may employ some additional casual labor that is available in the market, or the staff it is have in his office. Okay, the staff of the particular firm, it may use them for overtime, right? It may use them for overtime. So there are some flexibilities in the production process. It is not in the conventional theory. If you see, there is a complete, you know, rigid form. Okay, the theory was completely rigid, that up to this point, the optimal size of the firm, you can effectively produce, your cost decreases, and suddenly if you have to, you know, increase your production even by at least 1 unit beyond the point, okay, beyond the minimum, lowest minimum point, if you increase, if you have to increase your production by at least 1 unit also, then also average cost suddenly rises. Okay, the average cost suddenly rises, right? But now the modern theory says that no, this is not true, right? This is not true, because every farm have some reserve capacity attached to it, you know, plant. Okay, it has some reserve capacity. The reserve capacity may be in different forms. Okay, it may be in different forms. I have already told you what could be the forms. There could be another various forms. These are some of the examples, right? These are some of the possible examples that may work as a reserve capacity, right? So the firm always keeps some reserve capacity, because if in the short run, okay, if in the short run suddenly the demand increases, so that it could effectively meet the demand. Okay, it would effectively meet the increased demand. Okay, it can effectively, you know, meet the increased demand in the market, and supply the particular amount of the product in the market, right? So this is called the reserve capacity of the firm, right? This is the reserve capacity of the firm, and previously what we have learned, the excess capacity, right? There is a difference between where the firm is producing and what is its optimal size, right? That was in the conventional theory of firm. So these are the two things you have to remember. So this is what this is all from today's class, and thank you for listening to us. Have a good day. And one request to you, that if you like our videos, then please hit the like button, and if you have some doubts and queries, then obviously you can comment in the comment section. Also share our videos to your friends, so that more and more people could get to us, see our videos, and also do subscribe our channel so that you can get the latest notifications. Thank you.